and we've been set the challenge to run through as many key achievements as I can in 2 minutes. So here goes. Start the clock. We've delivered the biggest cash boost in history for the NHS.
Not true. In real terms, it's just 20.5 billion. That's less than funding used to rise under Labour.
We've got 12,000 more nurses and 6,000 more doctors working in our NHS.
I think what you meant to say was that we've got a desperate shortage of 100,000 NHS staff, including 10,000 doctors and 43,000 nurses.
We started work on 40 new hospitals.
I think you meant to say 6.
Upgrades on 20 more.
You forgot to mention you've only allocated a tiny fraction of the money needed to upgrade them.
We're modernising our mental health.
NHS mental health services are at breaking point after a decade of real terms funding cuts under the Conservative government. The number of NHS mental health beds has fallen by a third, and we've lost over 6,000 mental health nurses.
And expanding A&Es.
Under your government, A&E waiting times have hit their worst on record.
We're putting more money for every pupil in our schools.
Schools will still be worse off in 2023 than they were in 2010. Under the Conservative government, we've seen the largest reduction in education spending for 40 years.
£1 billion more to transform schools in every region of the country.
That's £1 billion over 10 years, when the National Audit Office says £7 billion is needed right now just to repair the schools left to crumble by a decade of Conservative government.
Over 3,000 more police officers.
That doesn't replace the 21,000 police officers you've cut since 2010.
More funding for affordable housing.
There are over 1 million families on the waiting list for social housing. In 2018-19, we built just 38,000 homes.
We're putting £3.6 billion to restore our towns through the Towns Funds.
That's not going to make up for a decade of vicious cuts that have gutted local authorities, closed libraries in record numbers, closed 600 police stations and effectively eliminated many social services.
Largest ever cash boost for the national living wage.
The national living wage is not the same as a real living wage, which is based on the amount of money people actually need to live on. More than half of our care workers are paid less than the real living wage. That means they're not even paid enough to live on. And here's something you didn't mention. At the height of the pandemic, you increased child benefit by just 35 pence a week. That's not even a loaf of bread.